Hey everyone, this video is going to be on the quadratic formula. So, we've seen a bunch of different ways to solve quadratic equations. One of the surefire, always possible, not solutions, but always possible methods to solving quadratic equation is using the quadratic formula. So, the quadratic formula is sure to solve any quadratic equation. To use quadratic formula, you must have it in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. So if it's not in this form, you cannot use quadratic formula. You can get it to this form, but you still need to have it in this form. And this is just a quadratic formula. Make this bigger. Oops. So that's quadratic formula. And it works for any quadratic equation if you use it correctly. Right? It's just a tool. I don't really like using quadratic formula. It can take a while, but it will always work. Factoring won't always work. Not everything can be factored. You can always solve it, and I mean that in a different thing, and we'll explain that in a different video. But you can always use quadratic formula to solve these equations. So let's get started. So this equation is in our form ax squared plus bx is equal to c. So ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Right? And we can see a, a, I need different colors, b, b, c, c. Right? And we're just trying to see what matches in the lines. So a is 2, b is 3, and c is negative 2. And we don't need to write out our equation. We already have it there. All we're going to do, and this is literally just plugging things in. So negative b, right, or b is 3, plus or minus b squared, or b is 3, minus 4, a is 2, c is negative 2, square root, all over 2 times a, and a is 2. And then we just kind of follow PEMDAS. We don't need the parentheses for that negative 3, so we're just going to write it like this. Negative 3 plus or minus 3 squared. 3 squared is 9, minus, and I like doing this all in one, so 4 times 2 times 2. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. But because we had two negatives there, it's going to be plus square root all over 2 times 2, which is 4. And we keep going. Negative 3 plus or minus square root 25 over 4. Negative 3 plus or minus the square root of 25 is 5 over 4. Okay, so some of you might be wondering, plus or minus, right? What do we do? Well, the thing is we do both. Okay, so the reason we have plus or minus there is because we're taking the square root of something. Let's say, let's use 25 actually, and we can show you. So what times what is 25, since that's what the square root is asking? Well, 5 times 5 is 25. So the square root of 25 will be 25. But negative 5 times negative 5, that's actually positive 25. Because remember, negative times a negative is a positive. So that means the square root of 25 can also be negative 5, which is why we have that plus or minus up there. So to completely solve this, all we need to do is create two separate solutions. One where we have plus 5, and another where we have a minus 5. And then we just solve. So negative 3 plus 5 is 2 over 4. 2 over 4 can be reduced by 2 over 2 to be 1 over 2. And then we have negative 8 over 4, and negative 8 over 4 is just going to be negative 2. So our solutions are going to be x is equal to 1 half comma negative 2. Okay, so your solutions to quadratic equations won't always come out as numbers like this. You may have things called exact solutions, which we'll need to show, but we can get into that in another video. And that's it for this one. Thanks for watching.